Hi everybody, welcome back to Sunshine Soap and Candle Company. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you how to make a duplicate of LUSH's popular Big Shampoo. I don't have any of LUSH's Big Shampoo to show you, so I'll go ahead and put a picture of it right here to show you what it looks like. So essentially it was formulated to help volumize the hair. So for people with fine, limp hair, hair that maybe just needs a little extra volume, this shampoo is infused with coarse grain sea salt, and that's really what helps to bring the volume to your hair. So I have created a duplicate to this formula that I'm excited to be sharing with you today. In this video today, I'm going to be going over my full visual step-by-step process and tutorial of how to put together this sea salt infused shampoo. If you would like the full formula with percentages, amounts, and a detailed step-by-step tutorial, including links to where you can purchase everything to make this sea salt infused shampoo, please head on over to my Patreon campaign. I'll have it posted over there at just the $7 level. I'll go ahead and place the link to my campaign in the description box below for you. There's so much to take advantage of over there, so if you haven't had a chance to check it out, I really hope that you will. There are hundreds of recipes and tutorials just at the $5 level. We're almost at the 6-year anniversary since the launch of my campaign, so there's a ton to take advantage of in the hair care, skin care, candle making, and soap making areas. Your contribution to my Patreon campaign is really the reason that I'm able to keep doing what I'm doing every week. Maybe some of you are aware that ad revenue here on YouTube and other platforms is way less than it used to be, meaning the money that we used to generate from ads is not the same. So your contribution really does help us keep the lights on and helps me to continue to bring you free YouTube videos every week and to continue doing what I do best, which is to bring you weekly formulas and tutorials. So again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. And with that being said, let's get started. All right, so we're going to start off by weighing some DL panthenol. Now, by the way, this formula is totally cold processed, super easy to put together. Everything is going to go in the same container. We don't have to apply any heat to melt anything down. It's very straightforward. If you look at the LUSH Big Shampoo ingredients in descending order, the sea salt comes first. So when we get to that phase, I'll talk a little bit more about that. But mainly this formula is comprised of sea salt and then other shampoo components. So the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and weigh off some DL panthenol, and this is your vitamin B, and this is great for hair strength and structure. Then we're going to go ahead and weigh off the water for this formula. Now, also in the LUSH Big Shampoo, the second ingredient after sea salt is surfactants, and that's going to be the bubbling and the cleansing agent. And we are following that trend or that order of ingredients where the sea salt is the highest amount and then the surfactants are the second highest amount. So we are duplicating the LUSH's Big Shampoo in that way. However, this shampoo does contain much different ingredients all around than the Big Shampoo, but has a similar feeling in the hair. So essentially, I'm duplicating this shampoo with ingredients that I have on hand. Okay? We're going to go ahead and give this a little bit of a stir just to dissolve that panthenol before moving on. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and add in the preservative. Today we're going to be using some liquid germall plus preservative. This is great for water-based ingredients. It works in a wide range of pH. So you guys know I love this one. Okay, I'm going to give that a little bit of a stir. Next, we're going to go ahead and add in some sodium lactate. Now, we're using the sodium lactate today as a humectant. So this is going to help draw moisture to your hair and lock it in. Sodium lactate is a natural ingredient made from beetroots and I think corn sugars. Okay. This will help also with the conditioning properties. Then we're going to go ahead and add in a refatting agent in the way of a product called LameSoft Pro. This is a mixture of cocoa glucoside and glycerol oleate. This is fantastic. You guys have seen me use this a lot in my liquid shampoo formulas. And I got this one at Voyager Soap and Candle, but when you use surfactants, it's nice to have a refatting agent in there to help moisturize the hair and help this to feel conditioning. And when you rinse it out of your hair, it gives it a bit of a silky emollients to it that you won't get if you don't add a refatting agent. So this is a great one to add. So we're adding this one in. It's a little viscous. Okay, perfect. In addition to the LameSoft Pro, we're going to be adding in some polyquaternium 7. This is another sort of refatting emollient agent. This really does help with the way the surfactant-based formula feels in your hair. You've seen me use this a lot in shower gels and other surfactant-based systems. It just gives it a really nice, silky, luxurious feeling. So we're going to go ahead and add this in. Perfect. Now I'm going to go ahead and give this a little bit of a stir to get these combined and dissolved in the water. The LameSoft Pro can make the formula a little bit cloudy. Sometimes it clears up and sometimes it doesn't, but it doesn't really matter in this formula, as you're going to see when we move along here. All right, it takes a minute to get that LameSoft Pro and the polyquaternium 7 dissolved, but when it's dissolved, it should look like this. Again, the formula looks a little bit milky and cloudy at this point, but everything is well incorporated. So the next thing we're going to do is go ahead and add in our extract or our protein here. And today, I'm not sure if I've used this one in a formula that I've shared, but this one is called Natra collaV. And this one also comes from Voyager Soap and Candle. This is hydrolyzed soy protein, rice amino acids, and some other beautiful seed extracts. So we're going to go ahead and use this. Proteins are kind of an essential thing to add to shampoos. So you can replace this protein with a different one like baobab protein or hemp seed protein. This one is mostly soy protein and rice amino acids. And then next, I'm going to be adding in some dimethicone satin. Now you could totally leave this out if you want. This is a silicone that helps your hair feel really silky. It's kind of an anti-frizz and it helps with shine. You could just use something else in place of this, like another extract if you want. But I really like the way this makes my hair feel. Dimethicone satin I got at Making Cosmetics. Okay. And we're just going to go ahead and stir this up. Everything that I'm using here is a water soluble, by the way. So if you do decide to replace these extracts or proteins with something else, just make sure they are water soluble. This formula will not be able to accommodate a large oil phase because it's mostly water-based. Just giving this a good stir to make sure everything's dissolved. That dimethicone satin takes a little bit of stirring to get it all dissolved as well. Next, I'm going to go ahead and add in our fragrance oil. Now this will not combine until we add our surfactants in because again, this is all water-based right now and there's nothing to solubilize the oil. So when we add our surfactants in, our surfactants have some solubilizing properties. And so this will, you will notice this will kind of float in the formula until the surfactants are added. So we are using the beautiful sea salt Lily, sea salt and lily fragrance oil by Brambleberry. Really like this one for shampoo, and it goes great with this salt-based shampoo. It has kind of an oceany, like sea salt top note to it, floral and green notes. It's gorgeous. One of my favorite fragrances. And it comes through really nicely in this formula, nice and strong. All right, now we're going to go ahead and add in our surfactants. The surfactants are what is used to cleanse the hair. It also is going to bring lather to the shampoo. The first one we're going to be using is some cocamidopropyl betaine. This is a plant-based surfactant made from coconuts. Has a great lower pH, friendly for the hair, gentle cleansing properties with a great lather. You'll see this in a lot of shampoos, body washes, facial washes. So I'm adding these in last so we don't kick up too many bubbles. Okay. The next surfactant we're going to be adding in is some lauramidopropyl betaine. Now, the reason I'm adding this one is also a amphoteric surfactant, much like the cocamidopropyl betaine, also is plant-based. This one has a great foam and lather. I think you're going to see with this shampoo, it has a beautiful foam and lather. And sometimes salt can inhibit lather, so I wanted to make this one nice and bubbly so that you're still getting that wonderful shampoo. So like I mentioned earlier, in keeping true to the LUSH Big Shampoo formula, the second most abundant ingredient are the surfactants after the salt. And that's for a couple of reasons. Again, just to enhance the lather and foam, but also you're not going to get as much shampoo in your hand once the sea salt is added in. So I just wanted to make it a nice balance. The last surfactant we're adding in is some caprylyl glucoside. This is a very gentle surfactant, again used in lots of hair care, skin care, also plant-based. All right, I'm going to go ahead and give this a nice stir to combine the surfactants with the rest of the ingredients. Now, right now the formula is water thin. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and add in some thickener before we start the addition of sea salt. So this is what it looks like right now, just a super water thin formula. All right, so I am using a little bit of SurfThix Doe. This one I got at Lotion Crafter, and it's actually, SurfThix is just the brand name for glucoside, which you guys have seen me use a lot. You could probably also just use a liquid Crowthix here to thicken this up, but I'm using a little glucoside. Now, with this formula, when you use glucoside or SurfThix, it is hard to incorporate when this is cold or room temperature. It doesn't like to incorporate into the formula very well. It likes to clump up, and it takes a really long time to dissolve, making it kind of hard to judge viscosity actually. So I find this much easier to use and incorporate if you put this in a hot water bath for about 10 minutes before you are ready to use it. It just helps the formula incorporate much easier. So you just add in your desired amount once you've achieved the viscosity that you like. Just adding in little bits at a time here. All right, so I've gotten this up to my desired viscosity here for shampoo. Now, I encourage you, when you use this product here to thicken it up, to really wait a few minutes, really get this incorporated before judging the viscosity, because it takes a few minutes for it to kind of thicken up and incorporate even after it's been in a hot water bath. If you go too fast, you add too much, then it's really hard to thin it out, to thin it back out. So just adding a little bit at a time and then waiting a minute or so in between additions, really giving it a good stir. All right, so the last thing we're gonna do here is go ahead and add in our sea salt. So this is gonna be a beautiful shampoo that gives your hair that volume, kind of like when you're at the ocean or the beach and you kind of get that salty sea air in your hair. It's the same sort of vibe. Also, with the addition of the sea salt, it's going to give your scalp a little bit of a scalp scrub effect. So it's cleansing and exfoliating. It's just a really fun formula. Okay, so true to the Lush Big Shampoo, they use a coarse grain sea salt. I got this one on Amazon. This is just a coarse grain sea salt that I'm going to be using. And you're going to be surprised at how much actually goes in here. And there's a couple reasons for that. Because sea salt and salt is water soluble to a certain degree, we have to add enough salt into the formula that it's not all going to dissolve. So it's also going to be a big part of the formula. And we want it to be exfoliating. You want that nice experience in the shower. So you're going to notice that, again, most of this shampoo is coarse grain sea salt. So we're just going to go ahead and start adding in. Stop right there and give it a stir. Just kind of slowly incorporating that in. And you'll see it start to fill up as it sinks. You'll see it start to fill up and take up more volume. All right, now I know that seems like a lot of salt, but I assure you, as this settles and some of the salt starts to dissolve a little bit, you will see that this is actually the perfect amount. So I'm going to go ahead and show you one that I've been testing and using so you can see what the finished product looks like after it's been sitting for some time. The salt does sort of absorb some of the liquid in here as well. And I wanted to show you what that looks like and also give you a little bit of a use demo, but that's what it looks like close up. All right, here's the one that I've been using and testing in the shower, and I wanted to show you what it looks like. So you still get some shampoo kind of floating on the top, just a little bit. The salt is right there under the surface. I really recommend a little bit of a scoop here. There's plenty of salt in this formula, but that's what it looks like after it kind of all settles down. So I'm going to go ahead and just wet my hand a little bit, and I'm going to get a little bit of a scoop as well. Just going to kind of dig into the salt, give it a little bit of a stir. Give yourself a pretty good amount. Like I said, this is going to act as an exfoliant as well as a cleanser, sort of like a scalp scrub and a shampoo combined. But it just has such a really nice, the salt gives it a really, I don't know, almost like a creamy, dense, silky feeling as well. This is a wonderful shampoo. Even in and of itself, if you just wanted to make the shampoo without the salt, it makes a wonderful shampoo. Feels silky, hydrating, exfoliating, but just a good one if you want to add a little extra volume to your hair, and great for exfoliating the scalp. There you go, everybody. That's how you make the Lush dupe of the Big Shampoo. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please remember to give it a thumbs up. Please remember to leave me some comments and questions below. That really means a lot to me. And share this video with a friend. Why not subscribe to my channel? All right, everyone. Catch you on the next video. Bye. keep shining.